This video will provide an overview of the various options to export data from a Uinta project. Begin by opening your Uinta project. Data can be exported from either the map view or it can also be exported from the list view. When exporting your project data, consider that all records from your project will be exported. However, you may first filter your data so that only the filtered records are exported. Additionally, you may choose to first format your map based on your preferences. For example, moving labels around, moving or changing the format of your icons on the map. You can do that first so that your map looks how you want it prior to export. Select the export icon at the top right. There are three options visible here: PDF file, Excel file, Google Earth KML file, and a fourth option found here, shapefile. To export your data as Excel, just select Excel and notice that there's tabs created for the different record types in the custom project. Also, the custom fields that you may have added in one of your Uinta projects, in this case damage type, are also going to be present as individual columns. To export to a Google Earth KML, just select KML, and if you have Google Earth installed, Google Earth will automatically launch. Also, notice that if you are using custom record types within your Uinta project, those will also be visible and present in the Google Earth export. So for example, we have some utility points grouped with water, a water group found under utility points. Under there, there's also a valve. And if I zoom into one of those valves, it's going to include those custom fields that I had set up and captured within Uinta as well. Google Earth is a great file format if you're working with others who need to be able to see the spatial features such as lines and areas, and also if you're sharing with a GIS, somebody using a spatial GIS system, or if you're just wanting to share in a file format that somebody can view a map who maybe doesn't have Uinta. So it's a great file format for that as well. To export to a PDF, we recommend, again, making sure that your map looks exactly how you want it. Any formatting changes you can make first prior to export. Select the export icon, PDF, and Uinta has a lot of flexibility in creating this PDF report. You can play with the various options, but in this case, you can change some of the information around. I'm going to add some custom notes. You can choose to add a logo, and this is something I just snipped from our website. You can add some additional attributes here. You can change some of the text using the advanced text editor to kind of format some of your text how you may prefer. Also, be sure to check out the advanced options. Here's where you can change between landscape or portrait, change the page size for printing. You may choose a different quality depending on if you're sharing digitally or if you're printing. You can modify and play with the zoom levels. This layout one is quite interesting too for the records that show up after the map, and you'll see an example of that here in a moment. And remember, you can print just the map, choose to include any photos you may have captured in your data collection or not. Once you're happy with your configuration, you can then choose Export PDF. And here you get a nice legend with all of the different record types that you may have captured in the field. This is a great tool to be able to share with customers upon completing work. Notice all of the different custom notes and everything that we had customized. If I scroll down further, if I choose to print these record types as well, I can see a summary of the various data that I captured, including any photos. And if you change that layout, this is where this is going to be affected. This will change the layout. There's some different options there. It can be presented in more of a list view versus this sort of summary card view as well. So we encourage you to just try the different options and export in different ways to see which way works best for your option. The final method for export is also a common file format used in GIS. So if you're working with customers that are recipients of that data that are working with the GIS or spatial file formats, you can select these three dots here, and notice we do have a shapefile option as well. And when you export to a shapefile, notice that each of my different custom record types in Uinta are going to show up. So for example, there's the electric, the fiber optic, the gas, line damage, and they are going to show up as individual shapefile layers. If you are familiar with shapefiles, you may notice that Uinta exports do not include the .prj file or projection file. All Uinta data is exported by default as WGS84 latitude longitude EPSG code 4326. Therefore, if you need to set the coordinate reference system in your GIS, you may easily set it to WGS84 lat long EPSG code 4326. These will open in any standard GIS as well as even import to Google Earth as a shapefile format. And lastly, a little bit more advanced feature is if you are repetitively exporting some of your data, you can choose to save a report. So you would first customize your report, choose the types of fields that you want to include or not include. So it's a way to sort of additionally filter your records prior to export. You can go through, customize it once, and then save that report so that you can then revisit that saved report and just select that saved report upon export, and it will respect the previous filters that you applied through customization of the report. So if you have any questions, please contact us at Juniper Systems, and we would be happy to assist you in your specific project.